Now this is video 1 of area of study 2 classical music, and this is in the IGCSE music from 2026 syllabus, and we're going to listen and study Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart Quintet for piano and winds in E flat major, and that's got a Kegel number 452, movement 1, the Largo and the Allegro moderato. And in video 1, I'm going to discuss the Largo. Now you will see that Mozart was born in 1756 in Salzburg, Austria, and he died in 1791 in Vienna, Austria. His nationality is Austrian, and he's part of the classical period. We're going to discover that he composed this in 1784, when he was around 28 years old. A quintet means that there are 5 instruments playing together. In this piece, the instruments are the piano, so that's a brand new instrument for the classical time. We remember that in the Baroque era they had the harpsichord. The French horn, the clarinet is also a new instrument, the oboe and the bassoon. Now, there's a reason why this is so special. Mozart thought that this was one of the best things he had ever written. He said, "I myself consider it to be the best thing I have written in my life." That's a big deal coming from someone that wrote over 600 pieces. The quintet is famous because the instruments take turns playing melodies like a conversation. It shows off how each instrument, wind instrument, sounds unique and beautiful. Now remember that the clarinet is brand new. It was one of the first pieces to mix piano and wind instruments in this way. Now in this whole quintet, I've got 3 movements. But for IGCSE, we're only going to listen to the Largo, movement 1, and the Allegro moderato, so that forms movement 1. So it's slow. The Largo means very slow. Allegro moderato is moderately fast. It's got a grand and graceful opening, and we're not going to concentrate on movement 2 and 3. Feel free to listen to the other movements as well, but each part has its own mood, kind of like chapters in a book. We are going to concentrate on movement 1. Now some fun facts. Mozart played the piano part himself when it was performed. The clarinet was still new in Mozart's time, but he loved it and used it a lot in his music. The piece inspired other composers like Beethoven to write for music, the music for piano and winds as well. So of course, if you go to YouTube, you will find a lot of recordings to listen to, and I want you to listen to recordings where you can see the sheet music, where you can follow the notes, and also where you see orchestras playing so that you can see the instruments. Concentrating on classical music, 1750 to 1810, some people say 1820. What makes this so special? Now the first thing is that the sound is clear and balanced. Music from this time is neat and organized. It's like listening to a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything sounds clear, not too busy, and easy to follow. We have simple but beautiful melodies. The tunes called melodies are often smooth and singable. You can hum them easily. Think of how catchy Mozart's music is. We have question and answer style. Music often has phrases that sound like questions, and the phrases are very balanced. And then another phrase that answers it. It is like the instruments are talking to each other. So when we look at the Largo, you will also see that the wind instruments, they have little motifs and fragments, and they share it between the instruments. It's like the instruments are talking to each other. Now the use of dynamics. Classical music likes to play with loud and soft, called dynamics. It might start soft, grow louder, then get quiet again to make it more exciting. That did not happen in the Baroque. We had terrace dynamics. Specific form called sonata form. And in video 2, we're going to start seeing how it works. It's got a specific structure and a formula. It's like a kind of building with Lego blocks. There's a plan and all the pieces fit together. Now in number 6, the orchestra gets bigger. The orchestra started to grow and more instruments like the clarinets were added. The string section, the violins, the violas, the cellos and the basses, the string section was still the heart of the orchestra. Now emphasis on beauty and elegance. Music from this period was meant to sound graceful, refined, pleasant, perfect for palaces and fancy parties. Let's quickly talk about the Baroque music we did last time. Baroque music is a fancy cake with lots of decorations. The music is full of ornaments and it often sounds dramatic and emotional. Bach, Handel, Vivaldi. What does it sound like? Busy, detailed with lots of notes and layers. The instruments, the harpsichord, the strings, early woodwinds. Style, very fancy with rules and patterns like walking through a palace. An example, listen to Spring from the Four Seasons by Vivaldi again. Music, 1750 to 1810 or 1820. Think of classical music. It's clean, like a clean modern building. It's beautiful but simpler and more balanced than Baroque. It focuses more on clarity and form. Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn. What it sounds like, clear, balanced and easier to follow than Baroque music. Instruments, more piano instead of harpsichord. Full orchestra with brass and woodwinds. The style is neat and tidy, like a conversation where everybody gets a turn to speak. And a very good example is Eine kleine Nachtmusik by Mozart. Nice way to remember this is Baroque, busy and beautiful. Classical, clear and clean. Most important things I highlighted that I'm going to discuss in this video. 1715, 1810. Forms used in the Baroque were developed. The size and range of the instruments in the orchestra increased and the harpsichord gave way to the early piano. Clear structure, elegant melodies, balanced phrases and dynamics, a range of dynamics and frequently a homophonic texture. Instrumental music became even more important than in the Baroque period, with words including sonatas for one or two instruments, chamber music and music for orchestras. Musicians and particular composers were usually reliant on patronage from wealthy classes, so they were employed by people as part of the household staff. Music, instrumental music played by a small group of musicians. It can vary from a duet to a small orchestra. Okay, and then Mozart, one of the best known classical composers. Okay, he spent most of his work life as a self-employed musician, writing works, giving performances and teaching to earn money. He composed in lots of different genres, vocal music, concertos, symphonies, operas and chamber music. He embraced the capabilities of the new instruments that became available, in particular the fortepiano and the clarinet. And both of these instruments we will have in the Largo that we're going to look at just now. His choice of instruments was quite unusual because wind quintets usually had a flute playing with them. And here the piano plays as an equal with the other four instruments. And he passes the material around the ensemble. And the instruments are played in pairs or threes or fours. And then we also have solo moments, especially in the piano, and a full tutti. And you can hear that the wind instruments play shorter phrases, allowing the players to take time to breathe. We're only going to concentrate on the bar 1 to 20. You have to go through your notes and find the things that's only about 1 to 20. Like the harmony is diatonic, it belongs to the key. Great use of primary chords in root positions and first inversion. And the introduction ends with a repeated dominant seventh chord. That's very important. It is amotivic, meaning that they are built from short fragments. They are passed between the instruments. Bar 7 to 9, I want you to find that spot and see how they share and pass the melody on. So there you see how they pass the melody along. First the piano I see, then there I have a little fragment, there I have a little fragment, and it carries on. You see how it carries on, and everybody plays that part, a part of that fragment. Also in the papers you will read from bar 15 that you see that pattern that is passed on to the other players. Okay, how they copy, like a conversation, the different sections, little fragments, so that you go from reading here to your music, that you can see it. And there I have oboe and bassoon from bar 15. They have a motive based on a turn ornament is passed around. So mark that into your music. And then the rhythm, we have that in bar 13 and 14. We have dotted rhythms reminiscent of a Baroque French overture. You remember that very stately rhythm of the French, the dotted rhythm. So let's quickly go to bars 13 and 14 and watch out for that. You see bar 13 and 14, ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. And there I start with that turn ornament there as well. The Baroque, I had terrace dynamics. Now here, Mozart gives very precise dynamic markings. And when we listen to it just now, you will see that in 5 to 7, we have dynamic things written in. That's very important. And the texture, we have homophonic texture in the first 7 bars of the introduction. And then we also have imitation in bar 10 to 12. And I want you to find that where melodies or fragments are passed between the instruments. And that music dialogue is very crucial in chamber music. Sometimes we have the instruments playing accompaniment role, or sometimes they have the material. And sometimes we have the piano playing alone, and it's the only instrument here that plays alone. Let's listen to that first 20 bars. And here it's very diatonic. Diminished chord. Yeah, how they copy the music, okay, and pass that on. You hear how they answer each other. There's that French overture feeling. Dominant seventh. In this video, I just discussed the introduction, the bar 1 to 20, and I want you to have a good look that you understand the diminished that they mentioned, the dominant seventh, and if you don't understand it, read up again. Now, of course, you will find a lot of beautiful YouTube videos to watch, and good luck with your studies this week.